Some takes are cold, some are bold, and some are just wrong. This is Taking on the Hot Take.
So my coffee's getting cold. I'm trucking right along, but my coffee is getting cold. I will tell you, compared to the first time that I did this show, you know, running 2+ hours of just talking nonstop, nobody to bounce anything off of, just me, I could not talk the next day. I was so, not just emotionally exhausted, but like my voice was physically exhausted. I'm shocked we've made it this far today, and I'm not feeling tired. Like, let's just keep going. We're on a roll here, right? Let's do Take It on the Hot Take. Filmmaking is built on innovation, but not every trend changes the industry. Some things are the next big thing, and others are just smoke and mirrors. We are going to take on the hot take today. The hot take is that YouTube is the future of film distribution. Specifically picked this topic to push back on what Ted Sarandos was saying about YouTube being a platform for killing time and Netflix being a platform for spending time. I took it personally, and I'm going to argue with it. I'm arguing with Ted Sarandos, co-CEO of Netflix. Look, man, you're not even good enough at your job to be a full-on CEO. And just because I'm a nut job in his not basement, but basement-ish environment, does not mean that I don't have a right to argue with you. So let's talk about YouTube's global reach and their infrastructure. According to Statista, in 2024, YouTube has 2.7 billion, with a B, not to use the cliche, but billion with the B, monthly users. Over 122 million daily users, with a global reach across more than 100 countries. It's available on smart TVs, game consoles, phones, tablets, and you don't need a DCP or a licensing agent to go worldwide if you make it onto YouTube. You don't even need a gatekeeper to make it onto YouTube. You just need to upload it and have it not be copyrighted material, right? Instant access, potential, instant access to an audience of 2.7 billion people per month. Do you have that? Can you pull up any streaming platform that has that following elsewhere in the world where you have instant access to that size of the audience? I would say, why fart? Why fart? Okay, now the show has derailed. Why fight for a tiny art house screen when you have a global cinema in everyone's pocket? Why fight for Netflix when you have instant access to that audience in your pocket? The next thing that people are going to talk about is whether or not YouTube is a viable source of revenue. And I'll tell you this. There is the YouTube Partner Program, the YPP, which gives you access to ad revenue from views once you qualify for it. There is Super Thanks, where viewers can donate to you. There is memberships, where viewers can pay for a monthly membership access to your channel. There are a lot of ways for filmmakers to monetize content that's on YouTube. You also keep the rights. There's no licensing. You just put it up there. And you keep 100% of the cut, minus YouTube's 45% ad share. You're not going to get a deal even remotely as good as that on another platform. Now, the revenue that YouTube makes from an ad view may be different than what Netflix makes from a subscriber and different from what Tubi makes from an ad view. But you're getting a larger share of it if you can get audience to your film. Mix in things like sponsorships, affiliate links, merch using the new YouTube store feature. product placements and getting more value out of your product placements because it has access to a much larger audience, YouTube is actually a very real indie film business model. The average CPM, which is cost per cost per 1,000 views, for filmmakers and entertainment content on YouTube is $4 to $8, depending. Which means that a film with 1 million views could net $4,000 to $8,000 per year before even factoring in other revenue sources. And Netflix is only going to pay you once. YouTube is going to pay you forever. And you still get to sell t-shirts, right? And you still get to own your film. You also have much better discoverability and algorithmic boost on YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world behind Google, which is the same company, and Google's search engine is servicing your YouTube content. They're not servicing Netflix content. You benefit from AI-powered recommendations from Google, who's much better at building smart AI than Netflix is. Your film can go viral without a press tour or billboards or all of the legalese and problems and drama that gets tied up in negotiating with the distributor. There are a couple of examples out there, but the most recent one that comes to mind is Megan, which was a story about an evil doll that was created by Blumhouse Productions, and it was just recently released by Blumhouse directly onto YouTube. So the business model is viable enough that a major studio that produces 10 plus significant movies with a distribution deal on Hulu/Disney is looking at YouTube as a viable place to make money from their films. YouTube's algorithm wants to work for you. A streaming platform that has its own studio, like Hulu, like Amazon, like Netflix, like Disney, does not have the same motivation to boost your content versus the content that they're producing themselves. You don't have that competition on YouTube. You just have the competition of other content creators. And if your film is a good film and people watch it, then YouTube is going to surface that film to people. You have more opportunity to succeed. Here's something that you don't get on a conventional streaming platform either. You get access and the opportunity to build a community with long-term value in a way that you don't get on a streaming platform. You can build a fan base through subscribers, not just screening the film to people once and not being aware of who you are or following you. You have an opportunity to build cult status, especially in the comments section. Interacting with people in the comment section, that's something you don't get from a streaming platform. You can learn a lot from that, what worked, what didn't work. You can interact with your audience and build that relationship. You are building long tail engagement with your content that generates passive revenue for years, not just like a brief 30-day window where you're disproportionately being surfaced by something like Netflix's algorithm. There are a lot of creators and channels that are thriving posting video content. Joel Haver, Dustin McLean, DIY FX, King Vader. One of my favorite channels is Dust, and what they do with indie short sci-fi films. It is a very real place to do this and to drive, not just drive, to be the engine for your career moving it forward. In a lot of ways, the traction that YouTube is giving creators is eroding the foundation that is supporting the industry gatekeepers. Only 28% of indie films secure meaningful distribution deals after film festivals, and that's from Sundance data in 2023. It's actually a much lower number, right? If you factor in the 10,000+ film festivals that occur around the world every year, you are not getting that same level of engagement worldwide and with a much larger data set than what Sundance pulled there. If you do get a meaningful distribution deal from your film festival run, the average upfront licensing fee is under $25,000. And that's a one-time payment. Streamers don't usually offer back-end deals. So you weigh a one-time payment of less than $25,000. I'll move over here so that TikTok can see my hand. This is my little scale. That one-time payment of $25,000 with no back-end to YouTube, where you have full evergreen access, eternal access to the revenue from your film, granted that you don't break any copyright laws, 100% of that revenue for I'll say the foreseeable future, as long as YouTube is relevant and a place where individuals are going for content. Creators can earn pretty easily $50,000 plus a year. Not easily, but they can earn $50,000 plus a year in ad revenue with under 100,000 subscribers. Subscribers aren't even that necessarily relevant anymore, because all that really truly matters is that your film has grown enough watch time that users stay on watching it long enough for it to outperform some of the other things that are considered competitors to it. If Google/YouTube sees that your film is performing well, it will continue to promote that film. Gatekeepers are opening the door less and less. This allows you to just walk the F around that door and directly to your potential audience. Now, there are some, I would say probably 3 counterpoints to this, and I will shoot them down very happily. One of them is that if YouTube is free, how are you going to make money? I would say that when you compare it to something like a self-funded video on demand campaign, you're being monetized for the attention that you bring the platform, not the one-time fee of the platform paying for you to be on the platform. What that means is the ads that Google surfaces on your video on YouTube play, and they play more and more and more, the more that somebody watches your video. These platforms are obsessed with user retention. YouTube's most important metric is how much time a user spends on their platform and on your video. And if they spend significant amount of time on your video, more ads play, and that's more revenue for you, and they want to show that video more than other videos where watch time is less. If you're concerned that posting your film to YouTube is going to cheapen your art, my argument would be so will being broke and unknown, which does not enable you to do follow-up projects. Distribution, as much as you want it to be, is not about prestige. It's about visibility. The prestige comes after people know who you are. What can you do with prestige except leverage that for your next project? Now, the third one is that you just want a theatrical run. And great. You can have a theatrical run. Nothing's stopping you from pursuing film festivals, pursuing other avenues, and then looking to YouTube as your backup plan. I wouldn't even say you should look at YouTube as your backup plan. I would say you should look at YouTube as your end game. To say, I'm going to exhaust these other avenues. Maybe my film is one of the 10 best films of the year. It's going to get into Sundance, and it's going to get a streaming deal, and you're going to ride that wave until you can't. And then your last opportunity is to put it on Tubi or put it on YouTube. If you're not that fortunate, but you try all these other avenues and you're not successful with them, let's say you have some small detail that also prevents you from posting your video or getting your video through something like Film Hub and onto Tubi. Great. You still have YouTube as a very viable opportunity to make money from your film, to build an audience from your film, and work toward a future where you can then work on your next project. Whew. Okay. That was a lot, but that is taking on the hot take for this week.